They're ready for you.
Así como lo ven antes, tenía se consideraba que cuando llegó la policía lo utilizó como escudo humano.
We are just waiting on one person before we do get started. All right, board members, we're here. Ms. Paula, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
We are reconvening at 5:04 p.m. Ms. Paula, if you could do a roll call.
Trustee Ramos,
Present.
Dr. LeBlanc,
Present.
Trustee Calhoun,
Present.
Dr. Little, President Lopez.
Present.
Thank you.
No problem. And if Dr. LeBlanc will do us a favor in leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I believe you're muted. The system has you muted because.
Republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for some. One day.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 6, there are no actions to report from closed session.
Yes, Trustee Lopez, there was.
Oh. Was that emailed?
She's in the boardroom. That'll get you.
All right. Number 6. Sorry. Report of actions taken in closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54857.1. At its regular meeting of October 19, 2021, the board took action in closed session to dismiss a permanent classified employee employed in the classification of CalWorks program specialist. The roll call vote 5-0 on this item. This report of action taken was deferred pending exhaustion of administrative remedies pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.1A5. Moving on to item number 7, approval of open session agenda. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Can you hear me?
All right, it's been moved by Dr. Little and seconded by Trustee Ramos. Yes, we can, Trustee Calhoun. Do we have any discussion? Trustee Ramos.
No discussion.
Dr. LeBlanc. Trustee Calhoun.
Who? Sick who? Cabrendi? I mean, repeat them?
We are in discussion of the open session agenda. I'm asking the trustees if there's any comments or questions. Got it. Both no. Dr. Little.
No.
All right. Seeing no questions, Ms. Paula, can you do a roll call?
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc, Dr. LeBlanc,
Aye.
thank you. Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
President Lopez,
Aye.
thank you.
No problem. Moving on to item number 8, Compton Community College District Resolution, continuing Board of Trustees authority to hold virtual meetings pursuant to AB 361, open meetings, state and local agencies, teleconferences. Board members, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Dr. LeBlanc and seconded by Trustee Ramos. Do we have any discussion? Trustee Ramos,
No discussion.
Dr. LeBlanc,
No discussion.
Trustee Calhoun.
Yes, discussion. So, does this mean, we have to discuss whether we're going back to open session or not, correct?
No, this is voting for the next 30 days for us to have a virtual meeting. If
Oh,
you-
no.
if-
No, I don't want to have a virtual meeting. I want us to come back in open. And I'm trying to figure out what the issue is about us coming back in open session and we can be in the little theater.
Okay, we will,
I mean, everybody's coming back on campus, staff is here, some of the students are coming in. And so we as board members, we've all been vaccinated, hopefully. I can only talk for myself and Deborah since we always came together. And then I heard you, Ms. President, say that you got your boosters also. So I'm trying to figure out what the issue is and why we cannot come back in person and be in the little theater.
okay, those are your comments. We will, I believe there's the topic to add to discussion. And so give me a second and I'll also ask Dr. Curry to present on this. Dr. Little, do you have any questions or comments?
No, I do not.
Dr. Curry?
Yeah, it's up to the board regards to when you want to have your in-person meetings. We could make it available into the little theater. It's up to the board to make that recommendation and decision, how you want to move forward.
So the current motion that we have on the floor is to accept 8.01 as is. Just flagging that in case there was a different motion after that needed to be flagged. All right, see no other motion. Ms. Paula, can you do a roll call?
Would like to make a motion. Are we voting on this one right here? To see if we want to stay virtually, if this is what this motion is right here?
Correct, this extended, so this extended for the next 30 days. So the conversation you, Trustee Calhoun, were speaking of is coming back. So the question is if we're coming back before the next December board meeting or in January to have a time frame, if I understood your comments correctly.
Yeah, I don't know why we can't come back in December virtually. I mean, December live, not virtually, December live.
That's what this motion is, either to approve or deny. So the roll call would have determined that.
To approve or deny to stay virtually? Okay.
Ms. Paula, can you do a roll call?
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc,
No.
Trustee Calhoun,
No?
Dr. Little,
Aye.
President Lopez,
Aye.
Thank you.
So I
Moving,
have a question.
yes,
So we'll be virtual in December,
correct,
and then we take the vote again to see how we want to do in January?
correct. In December, we'll take
In
another
30
one.
days, we're going to take a vote on this.
That's what the state rules provides language, that it requires an acknowledgement every 30 days.
I just want the board to think about something. If the staff can come on this campus, if the students can come on this campus, I want the board members to actually really think about why we can't come on campus at least one day a month for our board meetings. Just think about it. Are we saying that we're too afraid to come on campus if
You
we
could
got our
bring up
shots?
this
How does that
topic.
look?
You
How
could
does
bring
that
up,
look?
you could bring up this topic in future agenda items so we can plan out for that public, for that particular issue.
So I wasn't supposed to make a comment?
After the vote, the item has been discussed. So did you want to, in addition to the
No,
comments that you made?
Let's move on. I said what I wanted to say. Thank you.
No problem. Moving on to recognitions, 9.01, Dr. Deborah Sims LeBlanc. Dr. Curry. The boardroom is muted, so if there is any conversations.
David, can you put me on? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
So I have the opportunity to recognize Dr. Deborah Sims LeBlanc, who has been on the Board of Trustees since 2009 through 2021. And tonight's her last official board meeting as the trustee representing on the Compton Community College District Board of Trustees, Trustee Area 4. So I can present this plaque on behalf of Compton Community College District.
Thank you. He's too fast.
Oh, sorry.
Slow down.
Handshake.
Wait.
Got it.
Okay,
Now,
now, this,
what?
okay. Okay, it's gonna take a little longer.
Then we have a couple, I know we have some people on Zoom as well, but I do have a plaque from the city of Compton in grateful appreciation of your community service, presented to Dr. Deborah LeBlanc. We would like to honor you for your 12 years of service to Compton Community College District Board of Trustees. We recognize and celebrate you for making student success central to your career and community service. You not only serve and had a positive impact on the city of Compton, but also surrounding communities, Paramount, Bellflower, Downey, North Longmont. Your tenacity and drive to prepare and help our community leaders grow is evident in your personal attainment of higher education. On behalf of the mayor, city council, and the constituents of the great city of Compton, we'd like to thank you for your contribution and exceptional service throughout your 12 years as Compton Community College District Board member. We're sincerely grateful for your dedication, commitment, and outstanding leadership. Presented on this day, the 9th day of November 2021.
Wow, thank you.
And I know we have some elected officials on the line. I'd like to turn it back over to Board President, Dr. Sonia Lopez.
We have Senator Bradford, if we can highlight him. Senator Bradford, the floor is yours.
Oh, good evening. First, let me thank you for this opportunity to recognize a tremendous public servant, individual who has dedicated her life to the betterment of her community through being a strong advocate for public education and higher education for all that she's touched. I'm honored to call her a friend, but more importantly, a true community activist and warrior to improve the communities, not only of Compton, but to surrounding areas as well. And want to recognize her 12 years of dedicated service to the Compton Community College and understanding where that college was when she came on board and where they find themselves today. And a lot of that transition from receivership to over $15 million in debt. She deserves a lot of credit for that movement, as well as the other board members. And also, I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize President Curry, because he's been here during that same tenure. And it's been a great collaborative effort of strong leadership by Dr. LeBlanc and her colleagues, as well as Dr. Curry, to move Compton from receivership to full accreditation once again, to where students are now back on campus, as we've heard, receiving a quality education, which they deserve. And I just want to say, on behalf of the 35th Senate District, the state of California, we want to just say thank you, Dr. Sims LeBlanc, for your service, your commitment. And I know, even though you're retiring from the Community College Board, you're not going far. You're going to continue to be engaged in this community as you have been all your adult life. And again, if you're not on the board, we hope you find yourselves back in a classroom, sharing your expertise and your knowledge and educating the next generation of community leaders. So again, on behalf of the state of California, we congratulate you and say thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Senator. And Trustee LeBlanc, I didn't know if you had any words that you wanted to say, or you wanted to wait until the end. I believe the boardroom is muted again. All right, seeing I don't see Assemblymember Gibson, I will open this up to the board members. So Trustee Ramos.
I just wanted to say that it's been an honor. Thank you for your service. She mentioned earlier that she just hit her 12-year mark, and that's a lot. That's a big commitment to give to the college, to the community. And it's been a fun journey to experience this with Dr. LeBlanc. When she began, this was a volunteer position, and the board, the college, it's gone through so many changes. And I'm just really grateful for her service and her wisdom, her sense of humor. It's been a fun ride, and I wish her the best, and I hope she stops by. Thank you.
Trustee Calhoun.
Deborah, you my ride or die. You know that you my ride or die. You have kept me from going over the ledge. You have kept me from going over to the dark side. Now, you know you have, because we've had plenty of conversations about rules and regulations and my job, and as a board member, and what the board does and what the CEO does. And when I came on and you was explaining everything to me, and I guess I just didn't do everything that was going on, because you just kept right on talking to me, and you just said, Trustee Calhoun, I'm gonna talk to you until you get it. Okay, and so I thank you for that. But I'm gonna miss you. Now, you know, I knew you prior to being on this board. I remember when I was on the city council and prior to that, but when the National University taught a lot of our employees to get their AAs and their BAs. And as a council, we voted so that our employees could go to college, and we made it real good. We had that career league. If I'm not, yeah, we had that career link. So when they got off of work, and we set it up so that when they got off work at 6 o'clock. So you were all involved with that. And a lot of our employees received their BAs and their AAs and their MPAs. I didn't take advantage of it, everybody. I'm sorry. No. I was working. I was working at nighttime. And so I really couldn't do that. But you brought a lot to this board. And you've given me a lot of information and advice. And it has not gone unheeded. We still talk. We're still going to talk. We're going to go to our favorite restaurant in Paramount. That's right. And so with all your work and your effort being on this board and working very diligently and hard to get us out of receivership, the entire board, but I'm just saying you at this point in time, because this is your last day and you're going to be truly missed. Your laughter. And when you be doing that finger, girl, when you do that finger, we know that you mean business. So everybody watch that finger. I know you seen her give you that, do the finger, right? She don't mean nothing, but when she give you that finger, you know that she's serious about what she's doing. So
And it's a pointing finger.
a pointing finger. Yes, pointing.
Pointing finger.
Yes. And so you're truly going to be missed. And I thank you. I thank you for your dedication and your service. And whatever happens in your retirement life, just keep on doing it. And listen, keep on sending me those pictures when you go on your trips. This lady, have you been to all the countries yet?
Just 55.
Just 55. She has made that her bucket list. She's been to 55, ladies and gentlemen. Her bucket list is to go to all of them.
No, it's not.
Might as well be.
No.
But anyway, thank you for your service.
So welcome.
Mhm.
Dr. Little.
Thank you so much. I had to quickly change my virtual background to honor my soror, Dr. LeBlanc.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your service to the community, for really having a transformational legacy on behalf of the community as well as all students. I think it is imperative for us to understand that as Trustee Ramos, as Senator Bradford indicated, and Dr. Curry, that it wasn't an easy task to really stay in the trenches on behalf of Compton College. There was a much easier road less traveled, but that you remained focused and committed to the purpose of this institution. And thank you so much for your exemplary leadership and your example of what it means to be committed. As Trustee Calhoun said, you have definitely been a mentor. You have provided sage wisdom and direction, and I truly appreciate it. I think for our entire community, especially for women leaders, young women, young Black women, that your legacy will continue. And I truly appreciate that you are a true model of not only our sorority, but of our community. And your legacy will continue. So thank you so much for everything you've done.
All right, and now I'll open it up to the audience to speak on this particular item of the recognition. If you have anything to say, please raise your hand.
Hear from you.
The public for non-electeds on this particular item. And seeing none, then I'll go. We have previous board member Nicole Jones who has raised her hand.
Good evening, trustees. I just wanted to join in the chorus and acknowledge my sorority sister also, and Trustee Dr. Deborah LeBlanc. Thank you for your service, and it was a pleasure watching you do this work for all those years, and I know there's so much more work for you to do. So I just wanted to give you commendations now and let you know we expect even greater things for you next. So just congratulations on your service done. Thank you, President Lopez.
No problem. And just, I'll close it up to the public because I don't see any other comments. And I do want to thank Dr. LeBlanc for her many years of service, that I was also able to be part of the interesting ride that she likes to say every now and then, of the tenure of her leadership and of the college as well. You will be missed. I will be envious behind the board desk as you travel the world, but you deserve it. And thank you so much for your dedication, years of service and commitment to the institution, to the students, and to your community. It is much appreciated, and we are beyond grateful for the years that you did commit to us. And now I will give you the floor. The boardroom is muted. Hold on, it looks like you're passionately speaking.
Yes. Thank you to my highly esteemed trustee members and to the members of the community, the staff, faculty, students, and to Dr. Curry for his leadership. It has truly been a journey, but it's been a labor of love. And I could not have done it without each and every one of you. Most of all, I give praise, thanks, and honor to the Almighty God who's given me the strength, the courage, and the determination to stick to the goal that I got elected for in 2009. I promised the community that I would stay on the board until this college was recovered. And it was it's been a long journey, uphill many times, but every now and then there was some level ground. I also have to pay thanks to the late Lorraine Cervantes, who recruited me to run for the board. And I made a promise to her. She was very sick during the latter part of her tenure on the board. She said, I want us to get this college back. I said, we're going to get it back. I said, I promise you, I will not leave until that happens. And so 2017 came around and we got the college back. That's when I first thought of retiring, but I said, no, I need to stay and make sure everything is cemented. And so after the additional 4 years of leadership and continuous success here at the college, I'm leaving, but I feel very good about the place that we are in within the community, within the Academy of Higher Ed, within the state of California, and within the nation. We are making great strides, and we must continue to keep moving forward ever, backwards never. And that is the thing that I want to encourage each and every one of you to continue to move forward. Don't look back. We have a rich history here at this college. 1927. And even though we are relatively a new college since the accreditation, we take with us on the journey all of the past and the great leaders that have gone on before us. So we are here, we've made great success and great strides, but we've only been able to do it because of those outstanding people who've gone on before us, who worked hard, fought hard for this college. And we have to definitely give great homage to the community, especially the community of Compton that has stood with this college. So to Paramount and Bellflower, Downey, North Long Beach, I thank you for the opportunity of being able to be your representative for Area 4. And the only thing I can say to you is continue to strive for education, because it really does make a difference. Education improves the quality of lives for others, and that we must continue to strive to make a difference because we're just passing through. And so whatever you're going to do it now, because tomorrow is not promised. So make the most of it. God bless you. Keep pressing on and know that the best is yet to come, but you have to work for it. and you've got to hold on to those successes. God bless you.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for that. Moving on to item number 10, request to address the Board of Trustees on agenda and non-agenda matters. Members of the Board of Trustees and public may participate remotely by using the Zoom link and phone number above. Public comment, members of the public wishing to provide public comment on closed session items, open session items, and those not on the agenda that are within the jurisdiction of the Board of Trustees may do so in real time. If you have connected to the meeting using Zoom, please use the chat function. If you are calling into the meeting, please dial *9 to let staff know that you wish to comment. Public comments will be accepted up until the board president calls for a motion on the board items being addressed. Members of the public, we ask you to use the following instructions. If you would like to have your name added, please type it in the chat. And first up, we have Paul Medina.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, everyone. My name is Paul Medina. I'm a first-generation non-traditional student here at Compton College. I'm also someone who's looking to improve my community through service, advocacy, and policy. After attending yesterday's statewide Board of Governors meeting, I'd like to get more involved on my campus. In an announcement on campus, it said that the student trustee position is vacant. What would it take to run for that position? I just noticed my camera's off. That's my comment. Who would I, sorry, I know it's a comment, but would I follow up with someone in particular?
So I believe those in the audience maybe follow up. If you could drop your contact there. Public comment doesn't require a Q&A. So just want to note that. So thank you. So up next, we do have Jeanette Morales. Jeanette Morales.
Hello, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Greetings, everyone. Greetings, Board of Trustees. Under the leadership of Dr. Curry, Compton College has experienced a decade of consistent enrollment declines that jeopardize the financial security and future of Compton College. Dr. Curry has failed to allocate sufficient resources to have competent outreach, marketing, and recruitment efforts at Compton College. We are not able to compete with neighboring community college districts. Did you know that Cerritos College Complete Promise Program and Long Beach City College Early College Pathways partnerships exist with our local school districts? It might as well be you allowing this to happen. It is time to take action and remove Dr. Curry from his position. Thank you.
I don't see any other public comments signed up. Just make sure. All right, seeing none, moving on to item 10.02, Compton Community College District Board of Trustees, future agenda items request. Board members, Trustee Ramos.
None. Thank you.
Dr. LeBlanc.
No.
Trustee Calhoun.
For future agendas, I'd like to see something about a student trustee, the process, what's going on with it. Like to get, yeah, I can't remember the board policy, but I'm trying to find it about putting a name on a building. And those are the two biggest things that I'm interested in. I went to the board policy book. I can't find it. So I know it's there, but I just can't find it. So if I could get that.
It's
board
2
policy.
points, correct? You're asking for the student trustee, which is an ASB report back. And then you're asking on the policy for the naming of buildings. Correct?
When you can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. All right. Dr. Little, do you have any?
Just what I had requested a couple of weeks ago in terms of the data regarding our number of students, and then the timeline and plan for outreach, for reaching out to students in terms of our attendance. And also in support of Trustee Calhoun asking about naming processes of buildings, or yes.
All right. Moving on to item number 11, Board of Trustees meeting minutes. Can I get a motion for the minutes of the October 19, 2021 Board of Trustees?
So moved.
I heard Dr. Little move,
Second.
and it's been seconded by Trustee Ramos. Do we have any discussion, board members? Trustee Ramos,
No discussion.
Dr. LeBlanc,
No discussion.
Trustee Calhoun,
No discussion.
Dr. Little.
No discussion.
Seeing no discussion, Ms. Paula, can you do the roll call? Ms. Paula? Ms. Paula?
Yes.
Okay, if you could do the roll call for item 11.01.
Okay. Excuse me. Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc,
Aye.
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
President Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
Moving on to item number 12, presentations, 12.01, Compton College Adult Education Program. Dr. Curry.
This is one of our yearly items regards to presentation for the Board of Trustees. This provides an update of what we're doing as relates to adult education. The title of presentation is Adult Education Preparing for Tomorrow and Today. I'm excited that we have Lionel Wiggins, Director of Adult Education and Workforce Development, who will be providing this presentation today. I'd like to turn it over to Lionel Wiggins.
Hello, members of the board, President Curry. Thank you for allowing me to share today. And Mrs. Cinco, please advance to the next slide. So in essence, we want to give you a snapshot of some labor market data as it relates to the adult education population. We're going to take a snapshot of the census survey data and sort of work our way through our Tri-City Adult Education Consortium, and then localize at our own Compton College population on page 6, and also look at sort of the fill rates and counts of students in our courses, in the non-credit courses that we offer here at the college, and sort of transition to some programs that we're hoping will help to bring people back to campus and to encourage them to pursue paths serving the homeless population. And then finally, we'll end with questions. Next slide. Thank you. So the American Community Survey demographic estimates for our feeder cities Compton, Linwood, and Paramount, have us looking at a population for ages 16 and older. There are approximately 233,374 individuals, okay, broken down. If you look at the top right corner through race and ethnicity, that number in the red is the actual count. And then you see by percentage, the ethnic background of the individuals that comprise that demographic. Now, this data comes from, if you look down at the bottom, you see a little blue hyperlink. It says Administrators 2021 Fact Sheets, California Adult Education Program. And this is new data that we have access to that comes through these fact sheets at the Adult Ed, caladulted.org website. And it's all real time, so you can touch the various bar graphs, and it'll show you the counts and various information. And unfortunately, some of it, we had to cut it off, is just so robust. But I want to tell you a few more areas that were highlighted in that data, such as over in the English language ability area, you see the number 45,932. Well, that relates to those who have limited English ability. You see the educational attainment area, and those cascading numbers, 83,400 have no high school diploma. So these are some of the individuals we really want to get our arms around and create programs that allow them to leverage their language development into a career path. Next slide, please. So in the bottom section of that last graph, there was a category that talked about the unemployed. And out of that grouping of individuals, there are 11,693 unemployed individuals. So within that data fact sheet, it shows up in this way. And as you see those tabs at the top there, there's a red star next to labor market information. When you click that for Tri-City, our adult education consortium, you get these numbers and these particular industries and growth occupational areas. If you touch one of those bar graphs, it would give you the actual count and percentage of individuals in that particular area that we need to employ. So to give you an example, under 10 largest industries, healthcare and social assistance. So I highlighted those components because those are areas we have the ability to impact with some of the programs that we currently offer, as well as programs that are in development that I'll tell you a little bit more about later on. But as you scroll down, you see manufacturing, 285,000 open positions. That's through 2025. Transportation, warehousing, construction. And then the 10 fastest growing occupations over on the right, very similar. We see medical and health service managers, social and community service managers. So some of this data is pretty apparent, but what I'm going to show you is how we're planning to connect the pathways that we're developing in the ESL or vocational ESL and non-credit. So please advance to the next slide, if you will. Okay, so adult education in California operates in a manner in which there are about 7 areas that are what are called kind of like pay points, measurable skill gains that people look for to see how an individual is progressing, be it in their English language class or in a workforce preparation class. The boxes at the top show you pay points for those who transition to post-secondary, transition to CTE, or transition to non-developmental credit college courses. So for those in the Tri-City adult education area, we see those red numbers. Those constitute actual students in 2019 that transitioned to a post-secondary class or completed a program in CTE. And as you scroll down, you see that it's disaggregated by race, ethnicity, gender, and age. Now, a very interesting component of the data, if you look at under female on the far left in the blue light blue counts 465 women transitioned to post-secondary in comparison with 175 men. And when you look at the adult education numbers, you see a drastic difference in the number of women coming through the pipeline compared to men. Next slide, please. Okay, so back down to the bottom, you see that blue link. All of these are accessible and you can go directly to this content and check it out yourself. But you will see that through CalPass Plus, the data component called Launch Board allows us to see how our adult education students are moving through the pipeline. This is 2019-20 data, and this is the screen, one of the screens that you would see if you chose Tri-City Adult Education Consortium. And then in the middle, in that white box, you see institution. I know it's hard to see, but it says Compton College, and then the academic year. And it will pull the students who took a non-credit course during that year. One of the things I'd like to highlight, right above the orange bar there, that orange bar denotes 93% of 130 adults served had 12 or more contact hours in 1920. Now, what that means is it's referring to what's called an educational functioning level. And in adult ed, as individuals improve from level to level, and sometimes even within the same class, you can show a marked improvement. Those become pay points for the institution based on the individual's development over time. And you can't really see it, but in that large red box, those are the 7 areas that comprise the adult education outcomes, so to speak. Those are the areas in which you can develop courses, and the chancellor's office will fund you through apportionment for students going through those pathways. So you see the little red box that says 91%, that's 110 students out of 121 in 2019-20 that took ESL classes. And we had some who completed high school diploma classes, maybe at Paramount or Linwood Community Adult School. And over at the far right, that's the breakdown of ethnicity, gender, and age for the students that were at Compton College in that year. Next slide, please.
All right, Mr. Calvin. See you later.
All right. So, that being said, what do our actual courses look like? So, on the far right in this chart, you see the ESL sequence of language, reading, writing. And then down at the bottom on the left, you see CIS classes, which relate to our new mobile app development program using Apple Swift. So from fall 19 through fall 20, at the top, you see there are percentages, and in parentheses, there's an actual number. In the parentheses, where it focuses on the number of individuals that were in that actual class. And then the percentage is just that percentage for the efficiency rate of people in those actual classes, in that grouping of classes for however many were offered. The only thing that I really want you to see here is that it would be fall 21. At the top, you see ESL 13 and ESL 14. We had a course change through curriculum, and now there is a totally different sequence of classes that are aligned with our adult schools, and that will allow us to better transition people through the pipeline into the college. Okay? So we're really excited about that, and we're excited about the various areas in which our Apple non-credit program is really being taught be it in dual enrollment on the adult school campuses, as well as open to anyone who is interested in taking it. We are now in I think we're at the point of completing CIS 65, which is the last class in the certificate and the cohort. So we'll have our first grouping of completers at the end of this semester. Next slide, please. All right, so how does that work? How does all of this come together? In the beginning of the presentation, I showed you the labor market data. It talked about healthcare service managers, social work, and these are some of the pathways and how we group the classes to form a certificate of completion in ESL or a vocational ESL path. So we have the personal care attendant certificate with a healthcare 1 and 2, as well as a medical terminology ESL class. We may go towards the ESL for childhood education certificate. And we're also teaching a cosmetology level 1 course at Paramount Adult School. Now, those are 4 credit classes, and they do not count for non-credit, but students can easily transition from the Paramount Adult School into those classes. So that is a good transition point for us. And of course, the CIS mobile app development program, we're really excited about that and its non-credit structure as well. Next slide, please. Now, the CIS non-credit program, of course, connects with the information systems analyst position that you saw in the labor market data. So all of the programs are leading towards something that there shows a local need in the economy. So we're excited about that, of course. And back in June 17th through the 18th, about 13 CTE faculty and the counselor attended a faculty institute where they began to work on non-credit certificates of courses that would go into their discipline as sort of an entry path to get some of our adult ed students interested in our CTE programs. And so the hope is to really grow that and to offer those opportunities to get more students into the 4 credit paths. Dr. Curry has been instrumental in helping us establish the Calbright College partnership, where students that are taking a non-credit program at Calbright, they complete within an information technology pathway, and then they're able to transition to Compton College and begin taking 4 credit classes in our IT pathway. They can go mobile app development, they could go towards transfer. It's really up to that particular student. But that is how we're trying to extend the pathway from non-credit onto something more meaningful in terms of completion and a workforce outcome, going to work or going to obtain more education. Now, last but not least, one of the labor market areas that was identified was the social service, social work type of environment. We have an opportunity in the second 8-week session of next semester to collaborate with the LA County Workforce Development, Aging and Community Services Partnership, they called WEDAX. And in essence, we're going to offer 2 non-credit courses, ESL 6 and 7, and the students will earn a basic career training certificate. However, this is a total program. Within the program, individuals will receive education on homeless curriculum, how to serve homeless individuals, how to basically help people get back on their feet and establish themselves. So it's open, this program is actually open to homeless, formerly homeless students, current homeless students, and it has a component 12 to 5 p.m. where at the end of every week for 8 weeks, you receive a $300 stipend. And this is through a grant that WEDAX was able to acquire. They're hoping to grow the program, but in essence, there are various homeless organizations that will come in and offer presentations over the course of the week for those 8 weeks. At the end of the term, there are job placement opportunities with some of those organizations and others. So we're really excited about the structure. If you go to the next slide, Lauren, you'll be able to see a snapshot of what that looks like. This image shows you all of the partners that are involved. And it's really, we're really looking for it to be a great great pathway opportunity for individuals to get back on their feet and start to establish themselves. And hopefully we can use this as a model for moving forward with other programs in collaboration with the county and Department of Mental Health, a number of homeless serving institutions. It's just a great structural relationship with a number of entities. So I thank you for your time. And if there are any questions, I'm open to them.
Thank you so much. Board trustees, Trustee Ramos.
No questions. Thank you for the presentation, Mr. Higgins. It was very insightful.
You're welcome.
Trustee, Dr. LeBlanc.
No questions. Thank you very much, Mr. Wiggins.
Trustee Calhoun. Trustee Calhoun.
Just one question. Very, very good report, enlightening and everything with all the information. On page 9, Calbright Partnership MOU Information Tech Pathways. How is that partnership working? I know that at one time there was issues with Calbright College.
Well, as far as I know, they are alive and well, and they have a pathway whereby it's a non-credit course that they teach in their program. And we're working on ways to take their graduates and give them more IT-based training in our campus. So our hope is to basically fill our pipeline through their completers.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great report.
Thank you.
All right, Dr. Little.
Thank you so much for the report. Just a couple of quick questions. As we think about the non-credit, I saw the CNA on there, the Certified Nurse's Assistant. And I know that with the increasing jobs in healthcare, a lot of people use that as a pathway to RN and to the Bachelor's of Science of Nursing. And I'm just wondering, how are we feeding that program? And our high school, some of our dual enrollment students, are any of them participating in that?
You know, currently they are not. And I think this is an area of opportunity because the high schools that do offer a CNA program.
Give me a second, Lionel. Can we ask everybody else, if they're not a presenter, to mute their phone? Go ahead, Lionel.
All right, thank you. So the high schools that do have a healthcare path, and many of them do have a CNA course, and it's offered by an outside entity and not really an educational institution. It's sort of like a supplemental type program. And we've started some initial conversations about how we could offer our course to supplement or maybe even replace what they currently are using. So yes, that's a great opportunity.
Thank you, because there's a precedent for that. I don't know if the archives have it, but back in the early 80s, there was a partnership called the MedCore program, and there were high schools from Compton High, Centennial, and all around. I actually participated in it. And for many of us who were pre-med, who didn't actually stay in that field, but it gave us enough hours to become CNAs. And there's so much of a need, I think, both for the adult perspective as well as our dual enrollment. It may be a great area. I also saw in there around, airline and STEM and engineering opportunities. And with the airport here, there's such a dearth of people of color that there are a lot of opportunities that I would hope that we can look into, both from our youth, but especially our adult learners who may be interested in all aspects. I mean, there's aircraft mechanics there, and it's a lot of great jobs that have transferable skills like welding and things such as that can be used in many industries. So it would be helpful to kind of see how we're creating those programs in tandem with our traditional courses. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, see no further questions from the board members. Thank you so much, Mr. Wiggins, for the presentation.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to item number 12.02, California Community College Student Standard Funding Formula. Dr. Curry.
Yeah, so today we have Lawrence Susenko providing, each year we provide an update as relates to student-centered funding formula and what the funding looks like for Compton College. Some portion of this presentation was also used in a presentation that we provided to the Academic Senate on October 7th, regards to FTS and also regarding our funding for Compton Community College District. So Lawrence Susenko, Director of Institutional Effectiveness, will be providing this presentation. Lauren?
Dr. Curry, it's my pleasure to be here tonight to discuss with the board the student-centered funding formula. My name is Lawrence Susenko. I'm the Director of Institutional Effectiveness. So just a little bit about the presentation outline. I'm going to first cover some of the foundational purpose of the student-centered funding formula and its components. So breaking it down into what are the different funding components. We're also going to talk a little bit about how it is different from the former funding formula, also referred to SB 361. And as Dr. Curry mentioned, some of this content was provided from the Department of Finance, which we're really grateful for. And then we'll talk about how is Compton College faring, what is Hold Harmless bringing to the college, and where are we going from here. So the purpose of the student-centered funding formula really was about bringing more stability to college funding across the state. And within that, though, encouraging colleges to support students to meet their goals and the timely attainment of degrees or certificates. It's very closely aligned with the California Community College Chancellor's Office Vision for Success goals. Those were the goals, and they provided metrics, which we aligned with, and then the funding formula helped provided the fiscal incentive to meet those goals. The funding formula was also designed with equity in mind, as it provides additional supports to students who face barriers in education. I'm reminded when the California Chancellor Eloy Oakley came to Compton College and he addressed our faculty, staff, and administration and just explained that the funding formula was designed with Compton College, with the communities we serve in mind. It also was intended to make community college funding more stable and flexible, more predictable, so that the state and colleges would not fear and face fiscal cliffs, and it would be more predictable about what we would get from year to year. There's three parts of the formula. There's the base allocation, which is based on what we call FTES, which stands for full-time equivalent students. It takes the 3-year average of full-time equivalent students. This means the number of students you serve, basically the number of students who walk in the door and enroll in our courses. The formula also has a supplemental allocation. This largely includes the counts of low-income students who the college serves. So it's not just the number of students who walk in the door, but what students are walking in the door will determine how you receive funding in this formula. And then the last part of the formula is the student success allocation. And again, that focuses on outcomes of metrics that are related to the vision for success or completion of goals and degrees and certificates. And I'm going to go through all of the success outcomes in just a minute. It also provides for premiums for when students who are in those low income categories achieve those outcomes. Within the parts of the formula, there's also what Chris Ferguson terms data smoothing. These, again, trying to make the data across time, they use averages to make it so that there's less big jumps from year to year. For example, using the 3-year average of FTES. So if you look at the student-centered funding formula, you see that the base allocation or the FTS, the number of students we serve, accounts for 70% of the allocation. 20% is the supplemental equity counts of students, and then 10% relates to the student success allocation or those outcomes. Then if you break it down, here's our little 70, 20, 10 pie. You see the blue is FTES. The red is the College Promise Grant, the students who qualify for the College Promise Grant, students who are AB 40 students, or Pell recipients. And there's an intent at the state to add first generation to this supplemental allocation. That's the focus on equity. They haven't done that yet, but I expect that they probably will in the next couple of years. And then this 10%, that's this green, the success allocation is broken up among a number of different outcomes. So we have the number of students who complete transfer level math or English in their first year, the number of associate degrees for transfer, associate degrees, certificates, students who earn 9 or more CTE units, the count of students who transfer, or the count of students who transition into employment making a living wage. So all of these outcome metrics are funded at a rate. And again, if students who fall into these red categories reach these outcomes, you also get paid a premium under the funding formula. The state has provided a couple of new tools that might be interesting for you to explore. These dashboards are available at the Chancellor's Office website. So they have a dashboard that focuses on the difference between the student-centered funding formula and the previous funding under SB 361. And then they have another dashboard that gives you the funding breakdown across years. And you can look at these for across the state, or you can look at individual colleges, and you can look at our college in comparison to other colleges. The student-centered funding formula allocations these are what Compton College would have received in 2018-19, 19-20, and 21 using the student-centered funding formula allocation. So we have non-credit FTS. This is credit, the credit rate, and then FTS, special admit rate, and then our special admit FTS. Special admit is largely our dual enrollment high school students. They're funded at a slightly different rate. And then the non-credit rate and the non-credit FTS, our supplemental allocation, and our success allocation. If you look closely, this is the same table. We see where we see some differences. Under our credit FTS, we do see a slight increase from 18-19 to 19-20, and then a decline in 2021 as we were dealing with the COVID pandemic and the number of students who are enrolling in credit courses. Our dual enrollment has actually stayed very stable across the time. Our non-credit rate also had increased, and then decreased into the 2021 year. And then we see our supplemental allocation. These are the students in those equity categories, increased and decreased in 2021. Again, the success allocation has actually increased over the 3 years. So that's great. That's how we're performing under the funding formula. But as everyone well knows, we are in a hold harmless provision related to our transition away from El Camino and becoming an independent college. And that hold harmless has been extended through 25-26. And in fact, so that will mean that we will have this very unique revenue protection through 26-27. That was based upon an analysis by the state external FCMAT evaluators who understood that our transition away from El Camino, we should expect that we would have some declines and that this protection would help us establish ourselves as an independent college. So then when we compare our hold harmless funding over time, we have 2017-18 through 2021. This is what our hold harmless dollar amount is. The second row is what our funding would have been had we not had the student-centered funding formula or hold harmless. Rather, we were just funded on our performance under the old funding formula. And you see, again, from 17-18 to 2021. And then you see what our funding would have been if we didn't have hold harmless and we were performing under the student-centered funding formula for the last 3 years. And I think the big takeaways from this are we're actually performing better under the student-centered funding formula than we would have been performing under the old funding formula, under SB 361, almost 27,000 compared to 22.8 million. I'm sorry, 26.7 million compared to 22.78 million. We do see a gap between our performance on the SCIF and what our hold harmless funding. We acknowledge that, and we are working towards improving our performance on the SCIF so that we can ensure that we have stable funding as we move out of hold harmless. So there are several strategies that we have been employing to improve our performance on the SCIF. So this is related to FTS. So again, increasing just the number of students who are walking in the door. We're trying to increase enrollment in existing credit FTS and non-credit programs of study. And there are a number of targeted populations that we have been actively engaged in recruiting for the college. These were documented in Dr. Curry's charter talk on September 21st, 2021, and include formerly enrolled Compton College students, College Promise students from all of our communities in Compton, Linwood, and Paramount, Compton College fall 20 to spring 22 students who had applied but did not register for courses, fall 2019 to spring 22 career education majors or non-completers, so those students who have completed 9 or less units. We've partnered with our K-12 districts to identify students who were enrolled in high schools and graduated but had not enrolled in a college. And then in district non-college students in 18 to 24 years old and 25 to 45 years old. And then in district non-college ESL students. We're also considering creating new areas of study with stackable credentials that would attract more students. We have strategies related to supplemental. So how do we get the students in the door who fit those categories related to equity? And that really largely has to do with ensuring that all students complete a FAFSA or a California DREAM Act application. So we're doing campaigns to ensure all students are counted. And then lastly, we are actively engaged in strategies to increase our performance on the success metrics, implementing guided pathways, ensuring that the largest number of degrees conferred at Compton College. Right now, those are general studies. So how we're engaging in conversations about how can we ensure that students are pursuing ADTs that are funded at a higher rate, especially if those students are interested in transfer. Increasing the completion of certificates in CTE, designing CTE programs of students with 9 or more units each year. Again, being very strategic in how we are deploying and offering these programs. And then improving transfer culture on the campus, thereby increasing transfer counts. There are a number of resources, just links that we provided for your reference. And with that, I will take questions.
All right. Trustee Ramos.
No questions, just that some of the numbers are concerning, but thank you for the report.
Dr. LeBlanc.
Thank you for the report. No questions. It is important that we continue to get data because we want to make sure that our decisions are always data driven. And I appreciate your information provided tonight. Thank you.
Trustee Calhoun.
Thank you for the report. I'm like Trustee Ramos. These numbers are very, very concerning to me. Is this the same student-centered funding that you said that Eloy, former chancellor, talked about? And there was a lot of faculty, staff, or unions and teachers that were very against this, and they said that it would not be enough and it wouldn't do what it was doing. This the same one?
Yes, Trustee Calhoun.
And so, and so, trying to word this. Since you said yes, how is that helping Compton? Because we have the one where our students, the amount of students that we're supposed to have, we don't have, we still get the funding, but what has it actually done, and do we need better student-centered funding? I think that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think that one of the areas of concern, and you know, I don't have all of it memorized but there were areas of concern early on that would this funding formula be properly funded? Right. So would the the piece of pie of funding doesn't necessarily grow? What if there are a lot of colleges that are growing across all of the different aspects of the formula? So they're increasing their number of students they're serving, they're increasing the number of supplemental of equity counts that they have, and they're producing more successes. Will the state properly fund the entire formula? And I think that there are still some challenges at the state level related to, is this formula funded at the rate that it needs to be for success among all colleges? The comments around, you know, why this is important for a college like Compton College relates to that the supplemental piece, and also the way success is funded, in that it's not just funded for the number of ADTs or the number of degrees that we offer, but that you're funded with premiums related to if students are following it into that supplemental equity category, if they're also earning those degrees. So if Compton College is able to successfully implement some of the strategies that we have identified as being strategic around this funding formula, we will increase our funding in not just the blue of part of getting students in the door, but we will also be very well positioned to increase our funding for supplemental and success on this funding formula. We need to execute it though.
Okay, thank you. A very informative report. I still have issues with the funding and the numbers, quite concerning. But thank you for that answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Trustee Calhoun.
Dr. Little?
I just wanted to say thank you so much for the presentation. And I think it is, continuing to have regular updates on, especially as we look at areas of growth and ways in which we provide resources to our students to have a regular update. Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren, for your presentation. All right. Let me move. Moving on to item number 13, reports from representatives and employee organizations. We have 13.01 Associated Student Government Report. Stephanie Lenore-Dulce.
Good evening, Board of Trustees, Compton College, colleagues, and honored guests. My name is Stephanie Lenore-Dulce, and I serve as the ASG President for the 2021-2022 academic year. I am here today to provide the ASG report for November. First, the ASG, in partnership with Compton College, the Office of Student Development, and Belly's Wings and Sliders, continued the series of free food truck for the month of November. On November 10th and 17th, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., a food truck located at Lot A at Compton College is offering free meals to current students at no cost. Second, the ASG and the Office of Student Development celebrated our Veterans Month celebration on Wednesday, November 10th, 2021. We honor our former members of the U.S. Armed Forces, including those who have died in the pursuit of freedom. Third, ASD, together with the Office of Student Development, hosted a virtual game trivia where we gave away $50 gift cards to winning students. Fourth, ASD attended their last identity workshop at Emerging Leadership Institute. We're grateful for the opportunity we had to learn how to identify our skills to better serve Compton College as a unity. Fifth, ASG and the Mascot Committee met on November 8th to discuss the purpose of the committee, identify the committee members, set the first committee meeting date and agenda. We're excited to embark on this journey and hear what our community would like to do. In addition, ASG has joined the participating in the Vaccine Incentive Task Force. This task force will recommend the implementation and timeline for distribution, a one-time payment of $350 to students who have submitted proof of vaccination. The funds for the incentive program would come from the American Rescue Plan and the Higher Education Emergency Relief Fund. Lastly, ASG worked with our CEO and Director of Community Relations to authenticate and approve the official ASG social media to empower and connect with our Compton College community. We will share our name handles once it has been approved. We thank them for their support and approval. The ASG is excited to use these tools to connect with our students and share the resources and news from our campus. This will conclude my ASG report for November. Thank you. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Going on to item number 13.02, Academic Senate Report. Dr. Moldavenue.
Hello. Good evening, trustees. I am Dr. Minadora Moldavano and the Academic Senate President at Compton College, and I will be sharing with you today a few words. I would like to start with the words of Elie Wiesel, a Romanian-born American writer, professor, political activist, Nobel Prize laureate, and above all, a Holocaust survivor, who once wrote, "We must always take sides. Neutrality helps the oppressor, never the victim. Silence encourages the tormentor, never the tormented." You, respected trustees, have indeed taken sides. On the matter of the vote of no confidence, which outlines the abuses incurred by both faculty and classified on our campus, congratulations, you have taken sides. Except for you have sided with the oppressor, not the victim. You have sided with the tormentors, not the tormented. The Institute for Civility and Government defines civility as follows. Stability is claiming and caring for one's own needs and beliefs without degrading someone else in the process. It is about disagreeing without disrespecting. It is about negotiating interpersonal power so that all voices are heard and nobody's voices are ignored. But last month, dear trustees, you were not interested in hearing our voices. You were called to be judges in the case of the vote of no confidence, and as judges, you gave a verdict after only hearing from the defendant's side. You didn't even care to hear from the plaintiffs. You ignored our voices. And let's face the facts. One is never informed after hearing only one side. This is basic critical thinking we teach at Compton College in classes such as critical thinking writing and critical thinking speaking. One must know both sides in order to make an informed decision, but you were not interested in being informed. And even as we spoke, you ignored our plea. You see, the problem is not only the decision you made, but it is about how you made that decision. How do you think the world would evaluate a judge, a representative of our judicial system, if they pronounced a verdict in a trial after only hearing one side? I can tell you, we would not be able to say that they were fair, and you were not fair either. Not only did the board pronounce a verdict before hearing from the plaintiffs, but the Chancellor's Office representative, our special trustee, Jim Farrell, at the end of the last Board of Trustees meeting, stated that the Chancellor's Office believes it is best if Dr. Curry remains as CEO at Compton College because he provides stability. And my question is, please define stability. Is losing 50% of our students a sign of stability? Is losing most of our adjuncts a sign of stability? Is barely having at this point enough classes for our full-time faculty a sign of stability? Is not knowing if 40% of us, faculty and staff, will still have jobs in a couple of years a sign of stability? Is having so many of our classes close to empty with 6 to 10 students a sign of stability? We definitely don't believe so. And many of our colleagues from several colleges around the state don't believe so either. San Diego Community College District, Coast Community College, Glendale College, Gavilan College, Cuesta College, Mission College, Mount San Antonio College, Peralta, El Camino, Cerritos, Rio Hondo, Victor Valley, Harbor College, and Pierce College. None of them believe the numbers at Compton College are a sign of stability. Furthermore, since when is maintaining stability the gold standard of leadership? Pardon me, but Fidel Castro maintained stability in Cuba for decades. Vladimir Putin maintained stability in Russia just fine. And Mohammed bin Salman of Saudi Arabia maintained stability as well. But few of us would evaluate them as model leaders. So why is maintaining stability good enough for Compton College? I can tell you that just maintaining stability would never be good enough for Pasadena City College, for Santa Monica College, or for Mount San Antonio College. But the Chancellor's Office believes it is good enough for Compton. I am offended that the Chancellor's Office does not have a higher standard for leadership for Compton College. This college deserves better. Our students deserve better, and this community deserves better. We deserve better than just to be happy we exist. We can do much better than that, and we must do better than that. But our current leadership cannot do better than that, which is why we need new leadership now. And talking about stability, let me tell you whose job it really is to maintain stability. It is yours, dear trustees. According to accreditation standard 4C5, the governing board has ultimate responsibility for educational quality, legal matters, and financial integrity and stability. When this college is withering before your eyes, trustees, you are ultimately responsible. When you see that our students are becoming an extinct species on this campus, you are ultimately responsible. When they can't graduate because we don't offer the classes they need to graduate, you are ultimately responsible. When we are not financially fit anymore due to loss of revenue from such decrease in student enrollment in just a couple of years, you will be ultimately responsible. So be responsible. Take action now. Do the responsible thing, not the easy thing. We need new leadership now. Let me read to you your responsibility one more time. According to Accreditation Standard 4C5, the governing board has ultimate responsibility for educational quality, legal matters, and financial integrity and stability. In addition, in our vote of no confidence, we wrote about the abuse and bullying we are experiencing under the current leadership. Yet neither you, trustees, nor did the special trustee address that. Instead, we're being told to just go back and put up with some more abuse because we are stable, because we got new facilities. If you knew someone was being abused in their house by a family member, would you ever tell them, go back and just put up with the abuse? They bought a new TV, didn't they? In this day and age, with so much focus on mental health, we are told our mental health does not matter, that we must continue tolerating the abuse. And talking about the abuse, you are all about to approve to extend the contract of VP Sherry Berger, in spite of the fact that we have just done a vote of no confidence for her. And some of the main reasons why we did that, it is because she is not fit to lead with civility. Remember earlier when I stated the definition of civility? That civility is claiming and caring for one's identity, needs, and beliefs without degrading someone else's in the process. VP Berger cannot do that. Civility is about disagreeing without disrespecting. VP Berger cannot do that either. She has Title IX complaints filed here at Compton College, as well as at her former institution, Pierce College. Her former campus members reached out to us to tell us what they experienced under her leadership. So make no mistake, VP Berger's behaviors were not accidents. They are her habits. This is who she is. The way she relates to others is to exert power over them and degrade them in the process. When she disagrees, she also often disrespects. This is a legal matter, and you trustees are ultimately responsible. In closing, I would like to remind you of Elie Wiesel, the Romanian-born American writer, professor, political activist, Nobel Prize laureate, and Holocaust survivor who wrote, "We must always take sides. Neutrality helps the oppressor, never the victim. Silence encourages the tormentor, never the tormented. But it also matters what side you take. And you, dear trustees, have sided with the oppressor, and you have sided with the tormentor. You must do the right thing, not the easy thing, and stand against oppression, not on the side of oppression. You must stand against the tormentor and not on the side of the tormentor." And that closes my report. Thank you.
Moving on to item 13.03, CCC Certified Employees Report, Holly Schumacher.
Good evening, Board of Trustees. As elected officials at the college, it is your duty to listen to the constituency to inform you in your decision-making concerning what is best for the institution. The faculty, the classified, and the academic senate are the constituents for which you are duly required to listen to. How would you know what's going on at the college? You don't work here. We are the boots on the ground. We know the day in and day out issues that our students face. We know what is working and what is not. After a decade of failed leadership from Dr. Curry, we are telling you loud and clear that we need a change in leadership if the college is going to survive. This is not hyperbole. This is a fact. Our staff, our faculty, the academic senate are united in our belief that VP Berger and Dr. Curry are toxic to the institution. We know this because we have lived it. We know what it is like to work with them day in and day out, and you do not. Our campus is united by more than a supermajority, 93%, 80%, and 77% respectively, in support of no confidence resolution that we filed against Keith Curry and Sherry Berger. And I'm here to tell you that our Compton College colleagues are not the only ones who stand in unity with us. We have the support from the California Federations of Teachers Leadership, the CFT Community College Council, and the classified councils of the CFT. They have voted and approved support of our vote of no confidence resolution petition, and the CFT leadership have been circulating our petition of support for the resolution on our behalf up and down the state of California. Faculty, staff, students, and the community are standing with us in our demand for new leadership now at Compton College. With our petition, we have the support of faculty, staff, students, and the community from San Diego Community College District, Coast Community College District, who, by the way, are appalled that Gene Farrell has not stepped in to rectify the leadership issues at Compton College. We have the support of Glendale College, Gavilan College, Cuesta, Mission, Mount San Antonio College, Peralta, El Camino College, Cerritos, Rio Hondo, Victor Valley, Harbor College, and Pierce College, just to name a few. A former employee of Pierce College contacted us to let us know about their experiences of working with VP Berger at Pierce College. As you know, VP Berger was employed at Pierce as recently as 2020. The employee told us about the maltreatment displayed by VP Berger at Pierce, which drove numerous employees away from the college, causing them to quit so that they would no longer have to deal with her. The employee that we spoke to said that they too had filed a Title IX discrimination complaint against Sherry Berger for clear-cut discrimination and bigotry. The VP Berger's behavior is not something new. Discrimination complaints seem to follow her to each school for which she is employed. Board of Trustees, you need to listen to the employees of Compton College. With our vote of no confidence resolution against VP Berger, we have told you about the discrimination that we have experienced at the college. As of now, you have ignored the lived experiences of our people, allowing the discrimination and the bigotry to persist. Is that what you want Compton College employees to be subjected to? When you approve the contract for VP Berger, that is exactly what you are doing. You are allowing our people to continue to be subjected to this unlawful treatment. Board of Trustees, it's time to start listening to the constituency at Compton College. It is your elected duty to do so. We are the ones who work at the college day in and day out. We know what's going on here. Things have to change. The leadership of the president and the VP of Academic Affairs is just the beginning. The faculty, the classified, and academic senate are united in our support. And our support is spreading across the state. Our people have had enough. We're not going to back down until this change in leadership has happened. So we implore you, Board of Trustees, to get on the right side of history. Do the right thing. Listen to all three constituent groups across the campus, as is your duty, and honor our no confidence resolution. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
13.04 CCCFE Classified Employees Report, Amikwa McKenzie. All right, moving on to item number 14, consent agenda. Board members, can I get a motion?
So move.
Second.
It's been moved by Trustee Ramos and seconded by Dr. Little. Do we have any discussion? Trustee Ramos.
No discussion.
Good night.
Dr. LeBlanc?
No discussion. Thank you.
Trustee Calhoun?
I want to make sure I'm doing this right. Is this where I'm pulling?
Yes, give me the numbers that you want to have discussed. If you're asking pulling for a separate vote, that's two different things.
If I'm doing what?
Are you asking to have a discussion in these items?
No,
you're
these are the numbers that I gave Dr. Curry. And he has the answers to the questions if anybody wants them, but I have to put them down for public records.
Yes, but you use the term pulling, so I want to make sure that I understood what you meant. Did you want to vote individually on certain items, or you just wanted to note the questions that you had referenced?
The latter.
The latter.
Got it. All right. Go ahead and give me your numbers.
1401, 1413, 1414, 1415, and that's it.
All right. Dr. Little, do you have any items for discussion?
It was 1401. That was it.
All right. We will start off with Trustee Calhoun on 1401.
President?
Yes. You just want me to
That
make a
was-
reference that they can access the questions and answers?
Okay, I'm sorry. This was just to notify for the record which questions, which items I had questions for that Dr. Curry answered. And Dr. Curry answered the questions. You all received it. And if anybody from the public would like to get the answers from the questions, then they are to email Dr. Curry at kcurry@compton.edu, and he will email them the answers.
Yep. Thank you for that. And Dr. Curry will put his information in the chat. 14.01, Dr. Little.
Yes, I just had a question about I see the changes that were approved in terms of the new course. And I was wondering, are we going to track like the success rate of students after taking this course? I'm assuming that the reason it was created was to help students pass. So I'm just trying to get a sense of how we're going to track the utility of this course. That's one question.
Dr. Curry?
Sherry Berger?
I apologize. What number are we on?
14.1, we're looking at the new courses under the curriculum. And there's a new course under cosmetology 118 to prepare for the State Board of Barbering and Cosmetology practical exam. And it's stated that it's designed to provide additional prep for the state exam, basically. And I'm just wondering if we have either data up until this point about how many students who go through our program, you know, attempt the board and either pass or don't pass. And is this course going to be, or students who take this course, is there going to be some sort of correlation to see their yield or pass rate after taking this course?
We can get you the data. I don't have it offhand on, we will have to try to get you the data from the Board of Barbering and Cosmetology. The course is really designed to provide students opportunity because they have a 1,600 hour requirement for students to be eligible to take the barbering exam to get their licensure. And so because of the pandemic, some of the students have been unable to complete all of their 1,600 hours. So this course will help those students do that. In addition, the cosmetology program will be going in a thorough review of their curriculum because new regulations were just released. last month that changes the requirements for all barbering and cosmetology programs for students to sit for different exams in terms of what kind of practical experience. It also changes the number of hours. Currently, our program is approved as a 1,600-hour program, and we need to find a way to provide students the opportunity to meet that hour requirement so that they can sit for that exam. So by taking this class, students will be able to become better prepared and also attain their 1,600 of certified hours for the requirement.
Thank you. It would be, if I can request some sort of tracking or monitoring of student passage of the state board exams, just to connect to our workforce development and how our courses, especially as a new course, is garnering the outcomes that we're seeking for our students. And in that same vein, in terms of the kind of CTE course review, I see real estate appraisal, and advanced real estate appraisal, so on and so forth. And I'm just wondering if there are courses that lead to either the certifications that were discussed earlier or some sort of, professional licensing or certification. How do we track that so that we can show directly the impact of our courses on our students, and especially their workforce development and professional development to get jobs? So that's kind of a bigger ask that I would like to maybe at a future get information on how we track that across the board. That's all.
Yes. Thank you. We do have it as an action item, and it's an area that the deans are working on collaboratively together to identify all of those such programs. We do get our nursing NCLEX passage rates frequently, and you get a quarterly report. But this is an area in our action plan in Compton College 2024 that we are working to address. And as soon as we have that information, I will be sure to provide it. But I will also be able to provide you in a board letter the passage rates from the Board of Cosmetology and Barbering.
Thank you so much.
Seeing no further questions, Ms. Paula, can you do the roll call?
Trustee Ramos?
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc? Dr. LeBlanc?
I'm muted. Aye.
Dr. Little?
Did you?
Dr. Little?
Aye.
Did she get LeBlanc?
Yes. Ms. Paula, can you confirm that you received Dr. LeBlanc's aye?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much.
Trustee Calhoun? Aye.
President Lopez?
Aye.
Thank you.
No problem. Moving on to item number 15, action items. 15.01, selection of process to fill vacancy in Compton Community College District Trustee Area number 4. Can I get a motion?
Before Trustee Lopez, before we do that, there's a couple items regards to this. So it's not as simple. Is that the board and our attorney, Aaron O'Donnell, is on the line as well? Aaron? Where's that? So there's a couple of different resolutions that we have to go through regards to the vacancy in trustee area 4. And so the board has to look at to make a decision. The first decision is, do you want to call for election? And then the second decision, if you don't want to call for election and you want to do a provisional appointment, you have to approve that resolution, which is resolution number 1116/2021D. Included in that, you also have to approve the resolution 1116/221E, which talk about the process for the provisional appointment. And then included in that is a draft vacancy packet as well, and the timeline where we'll announce the position tomorrow, and then it will close on December the 1st. And then the board would have the board meeting on December 7th would review applicants and determine who to interview, and then call a special board meeting on December 14th at 4 o'clock to conduct interviews.
Is Aaron on the phone?
I think he's waiting for me to tell him we're ready, and I didn't do it yet. So I could take the questions, but I will.
So before we have kind of different scenarios, we need to hold off on approving 15.01 because that depends on the other ones, just so that we understand and are on the same page.
Correct.
But there's no motion on the floor to have that conversation.
Make a motion so we can have this conversation.
I second.
All right, before you second, Trustee Calhoun, can you verbalize the motion, please? So that.
You just asked for a motion to be made.
A motion to have conversation. She needs you to say it.
Motion to be made to discuss the issue on the item. What was the,
to replace trustee area number 4.
Right, number 4, how we want to do it, correct?
Correct.
All right, that's the motion.
And I second the motion to have a discussion regarding the replacement.
Thank you. Dr. Curry.
Yeah, so the item is on the floor regards to how the board want to proceed. So the first question, and this is a discussion, is the board interested in doing a provisional appointment, or is the board interested in doing a calling for an election?
Point of information, I just have to ask the president something. So a motion was made and there was a second. Was there supposed to be roll call?
So we're doing the discussion before the roll call. Is there any
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So give me a second.
No, I got turned around. I'm sorry.
You're fine. You're fine. So before we move forward, Trustee Ramos, do you have any discussion on the motion?
No.
Dr. LeBlanc?
Yes, I would like to highly suggest that you appoint someone to area 4 and not spend the district's money on an election for such a short period of time when you're going to have an election next year in November, exactly a year from now. Save the money, go for the appointment.
That wasn't the discussion at the moment, but thank you so much for that one. And Trustee Calhoun, do you have any on the motion?
No, I feel the same way. We should appoint somebody. And I'm quite sure we'll have a very large pool for the area that she represents, Paramount, North Long Beach, Bellflower, and Downey. So I'm quite sure we will get some good candidates. So I'm for appointing.
So if I may interject, Trustee Board President Lopez, is Aaron O'Donnell on the line as well? So
no, but we haven't voted on the motion on the floor before he talks about it, though.
Okay.
So this is just discussion on the motion that's been presented. I think the comments are additional to what may be the future items discussed. Dr. Little, do you have anything on the motion on the floor?
No discussion.
Got it. Ms. Paula, can you do a roll call?
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc,
Aye.
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
President Lopez.
Aye. All right.
Thank you.
Now we move the floor to Dr. Curry to address next steps on the discussion that we're having.
Okay, so Aaron O'Donnell is on the call. He can provide the overview regards to next steps, but it's simple. Either the board they approve one of the resolutions, If you approve the resolution number D, that will be for the provisional appointment. And then you also have to approve resolution number E, which is the process, and then the backup regards to process is included. If you don't want to do that, then you approve resolution number C, which is for the provision for the election. And we have 60 days to make appointment if we make the appointment, if the board goes through that selection process. Aaron, you want to add anything on that? Did I miss anything?
Sure. No. Good evening, board members and Dr. Curry. Yes, it's as Dr. Curry said. Essentially, the choice number one is: does the board want to order a special election, or does the board want to proceed by way of a provisional appointment? If the board orders a special election that would take place within a certain time period, there would be a cost associated with that, which is probably not insignificant. If the board if the board determines to make a provisional appointment, then the next step would be for the board to decide how it wants to go about making a provisional appointment. And we have a separate resolution for that to basically sort of establish a timeline and a process for soliciting applications. In terms of the timeline, there is a 60-day timeline that runs from the date on which Trustee LeBlanc's resignation letter was filed with the County Superintendent of Schools. And so that clock is running from October 18. And the board has 60 days within, from that date within which to act. If no action is taken, which I wouldn't expect to happen, but if the board, for whatever reason, were not to take any action at all, then at the end of the 60 days, the County Superintendent of Schools would have the duty to call a special election.
Board members, any questions or any motions to put on the floor and how to move forward?
We had to put another motion on the floor?
To decide how we would like to move forward, yes. At the moment, they give us several options. So if there's an option of which one we would like to take.
I want to make a motion to approve resolution D, which is for the provisional appointment of a board member.
I second.
All right, we have a motion on the floor. It's been moved by Trustee Ramos and seconded by Trustee Calhoun. Do we have any discussion? Trustee Ramos?
I mean, it's already been said by Dr. LeBlanc and Trustee Calhoun. I think appointing a board member is the best way for the district to move forward. That's all I have.
Trustee Calhoun?
No discussion. Sorry,
Dr. Little?
No discussion.
All right, discussion, Ms. Paula, if you could do the roll call. And as a reminder, Dr. LeBlanc is unable to vote on this particular motion.
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc,
I say vote.
He
Why?
is unable to vote, Ms. Paula, on this motion.
Why?
I'm sorry, Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
President Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, President Lopez. I know we call for clarification or conversation. I just want to be clear from what our lawyer said. So basically, we have about 33 days to make this appointment.
Aaron?
Is that for me? May I address that? Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, that is correct. The clock runs from the date on which the resignation is filed with the County Superintendent of Schools. So the clock runs from October 18
To December 18th.
to December, I guess 17, because one of those because there's 31 days in October.
Okay, so we basically have 31 days to both announce, interview, and appoint.
That's correct. And there is also on the agenda, one of the other resolutions that is within the agenda item that board members have before them. There is a resolution that contains a proposed schedule by which the board would or could direct an announcement and the solicitation of applications and then future meeting dates at which the board would review those applications and take action before that 60-day window closes.
And that's the E.
That is resolution E. Yes, that is correct.
So if we have revisions to that, we will have time to make it. Like if those dates, we know we got to do it before the 17th, but if those exact dates and times for whatever reason don't work, then we have some flexibility.
Just for point of clarification, if the board approves by approving this, then the next resolution the board has to approve, you can make change to the resolution in order to make it work with your schedules.
This one right here, we would have to have a vote right now for resolution E.
E, and then you can recommend changes to E based off of if there's any issues with regards to the dates. The timeline.
Okay, and a quorum is still 3. Okay, so we're fine. Okay, thank you.
So I want to make sure that I understand the next steps. We have to approve.
I move to approve resolution E.
I second.
All right, we have a motion that's been moved by Trustee Ramos and seconded by Dr. Little. Do we have any discussion? Trustee Ramos?
Just that the dates that are listed work for me. I'm good. That's all I have.
Trustee Calhoun?
No discussion.
Dr. Little?
No discussion. The dates tend to work for me, but a quorum for verification is 3 for whatever reason. If I'm out of, because I'm scheduled to be out of the country until the 13th. So I'm just wanting to make sure if for whatever reason with travel the way that it is right now, that 3 is still a quorum.
Yes. If I may just to respond to that, the education code requires that the board act by a majority of its membership. And so in order for the board to take any action, 3 votes are required for that action.
That's what I wanted to clarify. Okay.
Ms.
So can
Paula,
you
I'm sorry, I interrupted a question. I didn't know who it was
I'm
coming
sorry,
from.
will she be able to Zoom?
If I can or cannot, we would still have the majority to vote. I just want to make sure.
Yes, the extension of the 30 days allows us to probably meet within that time frame, which would be a virtual meeting.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ms. Paula, can you do the roll call? Sorry, Aaron, were you saying something?
I'm sorry. I was just going to say on that. Yes, if the board is meeting pursuant to AB 361, that is meeting, quote unquote, virtually, then any trustee would be able to participate from any location.
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Paula, can you do the roll call?
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
President Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
You know what? Oh, I'm sorry.
Give me a second.
Lopez,
Yes.
I'm sorry, I had a question
Yes.
about this. I know it passed. I know this passed, and I apologize. I should ask this question. You remember the last time that we did an appointment, the community was involved, or either they were, I guess we'll be on Zoom or we'll be in person. Will the community be able to do like they did last time?
They have to, because it's an open meeting.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. And Aaron, before I move forward, have I done all the resolutions for this particular issue?
The third one.
All right.
Did we do D and E?
We just voted on E.
Yes. So with resolution E having been approved, that is everything that's on the agenda with respect to this particular matter. The board, resolution C is a moot point because C would have been the resolution to order a special election. The board has instead adopted resolution D, which is a decision by the board to proceed by way of an appointment. Following that vote, the board approved Resolution E, which establishes essentially a schedule of meetings according to which the board will receive applications and interview candidates and make that appointment within that time frame. So that I think at this point in time addresses everything that's on the agenda, and the next steps would be to publicize the vacancy according to Resolution E, and for Dr. Curry's office to receive those applications and then make them available to the board for consideration at future meetings.
Aaron, I just want to make sure, Trustee Lopez, that we got this right. So I just checked with Paula. She got the roll call vote for E. So we don't have to do D?
We did D.
Okay, Paula, you have that recorded?
Was D the first one?
Yes.
Okay, yes,
Perfect. Okay.
yes.
All right, so we are done with 15.01.
Correct.
All right, so we can move on to 15.02, institutional set goals through 2021, 2022. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Dr. Little and seconded by Trustee Ramos. Do we have any discussion? Trustee Ramos?
No discussion.
Dr. LeBlanc?
No discussion.
Trustee Calhoun?
No discussion.
Dr. Little?
No discussion.
Ms. Paula, can you do the roll call?
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc,
Aye.
I thought you couldn't vote.
This is a different matter, Trustee Calhoun.
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
Trustee Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
15.03, Administrative Services, Compton Community College District Resolution Number 1116, 2021F, Budget Augmentations for the fiscal years of 2021, 2022. Can I get a motion?
So move.
It's been moved by Trustee Ramos and seconded. Was that Dr. LeBlanc?
Yes, it was.
Thank you very much. Any discussion, Trustee Ramos?
No discussion.
Dr. LeBlanc? Trustee Calhoun?
No discussion.
Dr. Little?
No discussion.
See no discussion. Ms. Paula, can you do the roll call?
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc, Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
President Lopez.
Aye. Ms. Paula, I want to make sure that you heard Dr. LeBlanc's vote.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Moving on to 15.04, Administrative Services, Compton Community College District Resolution Number 1116, 2021G, Budget Transfers for the fiscal years of 2021, 2022. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Dr. LeBlanc and seconded by Trustee Ramos. Do we have any discussion? Trustee Ramos?
No discussion.
Dr. LeBlanc?
No discussion.
Trustee Calhoun?
No discussion.
Dr. Little?
No discussion.
See no discussion. Ms. Paula, can you do the roll call?
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc,
Aye.
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
Look at this.
President Lopez.
Aye.
I asked you a question.
Thank
Moving
you.
on to 15.05, Workers' Compensation Program Fund Transfers. Can I get a motion?
So move.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved by Trustee Ramos and seconded by Dr. Little. Do we have any discussion? Trustee Ramos?
Being blocked out.
No discussion.
Dr. LeBlanc?
I said, I have no comment, but I can't get in. They keep blocking me out. and I can't do my motions, but it's all right. It's good.
Thank you. Trustee
We
Calhoun.
gonna all be silent for the next one. Everybody just take a 10-second pause.
Let's finish this motion just a minute. Trustee Calhoun, any discussion or question? No discussion. Dr. Little?
None, thank you.
All right, seeing no discussion, Ms. Paula, can you do the roll call?
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc,
Aye.
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
President Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
No problem. Moving on to 16.01, California Community College Trustee Fellowship Intercession Project, Dr. Curry.
So I'd like to hand it over to Dr. Helen Benjamin, who's our facilitator in regards to the project, and also Tina Cookman. And Dr. Benjamin, I'll provide you with the opportunity to share your screen.
Yes, thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here and to see all of you. Before I start what I'm really here to do, I want to just take a moment, if the chair will allow, to acknowledge the work of Dr. Deborah LeBlanc and to praise her and to give her all kinds of kudos for the amazing work that she's done. In all of the years that she has been on this board, I have known her and I have worked with her. And other comments made tonight, the majority of the comments talked about what she has done here, which I think has been exemplary and outstanding. I mean, there's no board member with whom I've come in contact, and I've come in contact with the many who have been such an advocate for the district that they represent as she has been. I've also worked with her in my years here at the state level. She's done amazing work. She's been a part of the African American trustees and administrative group, the CEOs. She's also worked at the national level. She has made a tremendous contribution, not only in this particular district and in Southern California, but all over the state and the nation. And I know of her national work as well. So I just want to acknowledge the amazing work that she's done, wish her the very, very best in her retirement. And I know that she will still be a strong supporter of this college and community colleges nationwide. And so thank you for all of your service, Dr. LeBlanc. It's just been a pleasure to know you and to work with you. And you're always thinking about the good of the students and the good of this district. So thank you. Okay. As all of you know, I was here last month. We have a little project going. You're looking at a particular focus on DEI and the board, and particularly in regard to increasing faculty and staff diversity to reflect your student population. And so last month, we spent some time just talking about an overview and what we'd be doing in the next 4 or 5 months to reach this goal. And your strategy is to infuse faculty and staff diversity into professional development and establish realistic targets. And in order to do that, you need some background information. And there were 3 assignments to reach the goal. So last month, we gave you a report on faculty and staff diversity, some student data, some faculty data, just so you could have that. And then you wanted more student data though, and we have that for you tonight. The second assignment, that was the first assignment. So the second assignment, which is tonight, is to review your administrative regulation, which looks at the recruitment and selection of the employees that you hire to give you a better understanding of how those processes work. And Tina Kupperman has done that work. So she'll be walking you through the hiring process for faculty and staff, as well as for classified employees and for managers, and also giving you some student data. And as she gives you this data, and I know you've just done a lot tonight already, and we're just giving you background information. We'll have another opportunity to spend more time to go back and review some of the data you're getting right now. But if you have questions that want to have some limited discussion tonight, that'll be just fine. So I'm going to turn it over to Tina Kupperman so that she can give you the information that you need for tonight's assignment 2.
Thank you so much, Dr. Benjamin. And Lauren, if you could please pull up the student data slides, that would be great. .01 and student data slides. All right, excellent. Thank you so much. All right, so good evening, everybody. So tonight I wanted to present on some student demographics around race and gender, as well as comparing it to our current faculty demographics on race and gender. So the information and data for students come from the most recent Compton College fact book. And as you can see, we have our student demographics divided by race on the first slide. You'll notice that throughout the years, we've seen a steady increase in Hispanic and Latinx students, a small decrease in Black and African American students, and everything else roughly remains about the same. If you could go on to the next slide, please. Thank you. So in comparison, these are the racial demographics of our faculty. So you'll notice that when you go up and down, that we are having a much, we are lacking in Latinx faculty when we look at the percentages compared to our students. We have a large number of white faculty, and the faculty for African American students is actually pretty close to our current student demographics. All right, next slide, please. Okay, so same thing for student demographics by sex. We collected that from the Compton College fact book, and more than half of our students identify as female. And if you can go to the next slide. And then for our faculty, data collected from Data Mart, it's rough. We do also have a slightly more than a majority female, but not as high as our student population. So that is the section on the data for student and faculty demographics. I'd be happy to move on to the next section unless anyone has questions on the data itself.
Is this your full presentation or
there's more. There's more, but I'll be talking about the current recruitment process and how that works. So the
this
first
is
part,
this is a supplement to last month's, because Tina shared data, some demographic data last month, and you requested a little more, and so this is that additional information. So if you want to discuss that now, it's fine. If questions on the data.
So to keep it consistent, so board members, I will open it up for discussion. Trustee Ramos, do you have any questions or discussion?
I do not. Thank you.
Dr. LeBlanc? I don't know if you're muted, but we can't hear you.
That's all they do. Yes, I have no questions. It's always good to have data.
Thank you. Trustee Cajon.
I'm glad to see the data. The data is very important. No questions. I'm sorry, no questions. Not at this time.
Dr. Little.
Thank you, first of all, for this data. Really quickly, I was just looking at, as Tina was talking about, the pretty equal representation for Black students to faculty, the lower underrepresentation of Latinx and Latin students to faculty, and the overrepresentation that I think it also shows based upon other populations. And so I just think that as we move into both strategy, that we recognize both over and underrepresentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Tina. If you could continue to the next part.
Okay, if we can go to the classified staff hiring process, I can walk the board through what the current process looks like. Okay, so this is an infographic showing just different steps we take. But for classified recruitment, it's based on the Personnel Commission rules. So the position is posted for a certain number of days. Once it closes, Human Resources conducts a pre-screening to make sure that the candidates meet the minimum qualifications. From there, we move on to testing. So any applicants who pass the pre-screening will be invited to take a test. The exam questions are based on the knowledge, skills, and abilities related to the job. And anyone who passes the exam with at least a 70% receives an invitation for an oral interview. So in the next stage, we have oral interviews. So there are 2 rounds of interviews, and the candidates are scored based on their responses to the interview questions. The oral interview score is combined with their test score, and then the 3 highest scoring candidates in total move on to a final interview with the hiring manager. So after the hiring manager makes their selection from the top 3, we establish an eligibility list in order of the scores, so from highest to lowest. And then say within the years, within 3 months, someone decides to quit their position or separate, then we go back to that list. The list is open, it lasts for a year, and we invite candidates from the list from the top down to interview for the position. So that is what the classified process looks like.
You have any questions about the process?
Board members, Trustee Ramos.
No, I do not.
Dr. LeBlanc.
Okay, I just wanted to know what item is this?
We're still on the same item. These are just different presentations. Instead of going through all of them,
The number.
we are on 16.01.
Thank you so much. Okay, I have no questions.
Trustee Calhoun.
No questions.
Dr. Little.
Just really quickly, is there any bias training in any stages of this?
Oh, yes, there is. I didn't mention that, but this would be before when we're creating the interview questions with the committees. So I provide a bias training for all committee members. So I can definitely add that. That was something I forgot.
No worries. And is the evaluation process objective and individual? Like, do all of the committee members, after they get the training, independently assess and rank and then come as a group?
So part of their training includes, for example, not falling into the bias of the herd mentality. So people would come up with their own numbers. Yes.
Okay. And so somewhere they're reported and documented, and then once you aggregate it, then they come and they kind of go through discussion.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, Tina.
Okay, so the next thing I wanted to review is our faculty and administrator hiring process. Okay, so we have an infographic again for this. And so the first part of this is the first committee meeting. So the chair convenes the meeting, and the chair is either the dean for faculty or the hiring manager for a class or for administrators. So they convene the committee meeting. I review the process, confidentiality, talk about diversity, bias, non-discrimination with the committee members, and they discuss priority skills and competencies needed for the position and develop the screening criteria with equity-minded interview questions. So after this first meeting, they set a date for a second meeting. Now, in between that, the committee members have homework. So iGreentree is our HRIS system that houses all of our applicant data or our applications. So after each committee member has signed their confidentiality form, they've reviewed the screening criteria. HR sends each committee member instructions for going into the system. So on their own time, committee members review the application materials and they pay special attention to cover letters and score the candidates 1 through 4. The current scoring is 1 being you wish to interview them, 2 consider for interview, 3 do not wish to interview, and 4 does not qualify. So after this stage is completed, we come to our second committee meeting where everyone reports their scores. So I tally up the scores and then I present that to the committee, and then everyone can have a discussion over overall impressions of the candidates, of the candidate pool, and evaluate each candidate when scoring. So if there's something inconsistent among members, someone got a 1, someone gave a 1, the other person gave them a 4, they can talk about, oh, was there something you saw or something you missed? And committees members select the top candidates for first round interviews, and we set the interview date. And the final stage of that is interview day. So when that happens, the committee meets right prior to that so that they can decide the order in which they want to ask the questions. The chair welcomes the candidate, provides them a background of the department, of the position, etc. And then I go in and I tell them, they have however long to answer however many questions, etc. I also share the interview process with the candidates. And then after this interview, the committee members deliberate on whom they wish to move forward after all of the first round interviews are completed. And the top 3 are forwarded to the president and CEO for final interviews. So that is our faculty and administrator hiring process.
Board members, do we have any questions or discussion on this process? Trustee Ramos.
I do not, thank you.
Dr. LeBlanc? Trustee Calhoun?
No, did you hear LeBlanc? LeBlanc said she had no questions.
It's okay, I'm good here. Thank you.
Trustee Calhoun?
Trustee Calhoun has no questions. Good night.
Oh, crap.
Dr. Little?
Just a quick question, Tina. So I see that the bias is going to be discussed there, and they go into the system and they review and document and create an order. Is there in any part of this a conversation about
Just a second, Dr. Little. If
There
everyone
we
can
go.
mute themselves if they're not speaking.
So my question is one of my questions is whether or not there is any discussion or attention to existing departmental composition in terms of diversity.
That is something that I currently don't do in part of my bias training, but that's a great recommendation.
And not to have it over determined, but I'm just wondering if, as we looked at the faculty data, that was overall, if you disaggregated by certain departments, there may be a department where there are no people of color or very few. And I'm just wondering, not that it should determine the outcome based upon the pool, because you shouldn't try to go for a quota, but it should be in some way. I think the committee should be cognizant of if there is a diversity commitment or goal to more diversify certain fields where students can go through their study and may not ever have faculty of color. I think it would be important to in some way at least be cognizant of that without in any way influencing the outcome. Also, for the interview process, are they the exact same questions to every candidate?
Yes.
Okay, so they are ensuring that they're doing that. And as of right now, it is not a blind read. Is that correct?
That is correct.
It's like, so they still get either name and some demographic information, the committee?
During the interview?
During the whole process.
During the whole process. So yeah, they would see the entire resume, the applications of the individuals, yes.
Because I know in some institutions, and it's a very big, heavy lift. Some schools are piloting blind where, they're removing names, or even some are removing educational institutions to try to remove built-in bias to schools or affiliations or associations, things like that. And then finally, and this kind of goes to my other question, is that once the three are identified and put forth to Dr. Curry, is there a notation of the demographic? And is there any decision making at that point if we feel that those three are not representative of the goals that we have? Do you stop a search, redo a search, or is it just, once they go through this due diligence, whoever the three candidates are, they would go forth to Dr. Curry, and then that decision would be made? That's my question.
It would be the latter.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for this outstanding report.
But I want to add something to that part of the conversation, Dr. Little, is that when I get the finalists in my packet, I do get the demographic breakdown of who's been interviewed and who was in the first round as well. So they do provide that type of data to me.
Thank you. I think it is important for us to keep track of the pool and then the ultimate yield. Obviously, we're not looking for any kind of quota, but I think patterns of behavior and decision-making is important to document as well, especially if we are having a conversation about either the under or over representation, then we need to be aware of the process.
And that's the point of having you. That's part of your work here, because in the end, you'll be reviewing all of this again. And are there more questions? Because we're at the end and I want to tell you or remind you of what the next steps are.
No, you can go on.
Okay, thank you. So thank you, Tina, for sharing that information. And if you have questions, we want you to still be thinking about all you've heard, because we'll have a more in-depth discussion later. Next month in your meeting on the 7th, Dr. Curry's invited Estella Benjamin, who was part of a team that came and did a kind of examination of your hiring process. And she will be going through those recommendations that they made to the college for changes you could make to make your process even more robust and probably yield a more diverse pools and maybe more diverse hires. I don't know what they are right now. That's on the 7th. And then we have a retreat scheduled on the 7th. I'm sorry, on the 11th, where we talk about all of this, and you can talk about policy recommendations and other things. And there's more to come, is my point. But I just want to double check Dr. Curry and Madam President, Board President, to see if that December 11th date still works for everybody. I don't know if you followed up on it or not. I think some people weren't aware of it in the meeting last month.
Got it. And I don't know if this is a time to discuss with the board members, just given that we do have to have a special board meeting within a time-sensitive matter.
Yes.
And I don't know if this would be the venue.
Yeah, well, just to keep it in mind, as you have a lot to do, a lot of extra meetings now coming. So we may want to adjust some of the dates.
And so board members, if there's an issue in postponing this December 11th, given that we will have a new board trustee to appoint, if there's any concerns in pushing back potentially even to January, or keeping as is, this is what I have before you. So this is an action item. If we're planning to change, if we're keeping as is, then there's no vote that needs to be taken.
There's the problem with that, Trustee Lopez, we don't have the board meeting schedule as part of the agenda. And so what I can do on the December 7th meeting is I can agendize the retreat, and then the board can discuss at that moment if they want to change the retreat to January and put it as a part of the agenda.
Our next board meeting is the 11th?
No, the next board meeting is the 7th. And the retreat was scheduled for that Saturday, the 11th. So that means between now and the 7th, I can put on the agenda for the board to discuss the retreat. If the board want to keep it for the 11th, you can make that decision, or you want to change it to another day, you can make the decision as well, but I would actually have it as an agenda item.
Got it. Okay.
So for clarification, if left, we would have a meeting December 7th, December 11th, and December 14th.
Correct.
So that's just for your consideration. But that's all we have for tonight. We'll continue. We'll have another presentation next month.
Thank you so much, Dr. Benjamin. Appreciate
welcome.
the update.
Okay.
Moving on to item number 16.02, Board of Trustees regularly scheduled meeting dates for 2022. Dr. Curry.
So I was working, just so everyone knows, Trustee Calhoun and also Dr. LeBlanc had to leave the meeting, but I was working this past week in regards to the board meeting dates for the next fiscal year. And so what I did was I put together a draft of the potential dates for the board meetings and just get some direction from the board. Do you want to keep the Tuesday evening meetings? Do you want to keep the same time? I just need some direction of what you would like to do for the 2022 year regards to board meeting dates.
We have to make a decision tonight, Dr. Curry?
I need some direction to kind of put together the agenda. I have to put together the schedule.
If I recall correctly, and this is vague because 2020 came around, there was a discussion or a request that had been made to the board to consider changing the date of Tuesday because of other board conflicts and attendance to the public was low. So given that we already had voted on the 2020 schedule, we couldn't do it for that. It was going to be brought up for the 2021.
I think it was the city council meeting in the city of Compton, but we do represent more than those cities because I think what we also discussed was that like a Wednesday was another city council meeting, and we were running up against several different city councils, but I think the Tuesday was in direct conflict to the city of Compton's city council meeting. So
is this an item that you can share potential Monday or Wednesday dates and have it voted in December when we take a look at the overall retreat dates, or just keep as is? So this is what's on the floor.
I could bring forward a proposal, and then I could also look at the other meetings within the other cities. But I could bring forward a proposal that shows the dates for Monday, Tuesdays, and also Wednesdays. And then the board can make a decision of how they want to do that. I can do that.
I think that would be helpful just to give us some options and if we can have that before we're actually voting, so that way we can, take our due diligence to kind of look over the year and see what will be most impactful or least impactful.
That's fine. But we're just saying Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. We're not looking at Thursdays or Fridays for potential.
No, not for me.
Yeah.
It's up to the other board members if they want to consider those days, but I'm personally asking for Monday through Wednesday. You can do the whole week if you would like, Dr. Curry. I don't know, President Lopez.
I don't think there's been board meetings on Fridays, but I mean, if you want to do an option of Monday to Thursday, and board members can make that that adjustment once they see the calendar of everything. Correct, Dr. Little. All right. Anything else on that one, Dr. Curry?
Nope, that's all.
All right, moving to 16.03, on Compton Community College District. There's nothing to be voted on. 16.0. Sorry, let me go back. 16.02 didn't require a vote because there was no motion on the floor.
Correct. And then
All right.
I'm sorry.
Go on.
16.03 provide an update. If you have any recommendations, we're looking for people to serve on a redistrict committee to represent your areas. If you have any recommendations, so I can follow back up, because I'm trying to populate the committee by this Friday. So if you have recommendations, that would be helpful. We receive no letters of interest. And so if you have potential individuals, please let me know, and I will follow back up with them directly.
Dr. Curry, they must live in our district.
We're looking for individuals from within your districts. That's what we're looking for.
Can I recommend on the floor tonight?
You can, I can follow up, yes.
I would like to recommend Commissioner Bruce Boyd.
Okay. And I'll follow back up with Commissioner Boyd. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to 16.04, Compton College full-time equivalent students.
This just, I'm sorry, this just provides you an update of where we're at regards to FTS since fall of 19 to fall of 2021. It has updated data, also has the update regards to the outreach activities that we're currently doing for Compton College. As of our numbers the other day, we were 9 FTS higher than last year at this time for the winter session, and registration for spring begins today.
All right, thank you very much. Moving on to item number 18, Board of Policies Administrative Regulations. Board members, is there any particular policy that stands out you would like Dr. Curry to address? If not, Dr. Curry. Dr. Curry?
No, there's no update. These have been worked on with the Academic Senate and also with the administration, and these are ones we bring forward for first read for board policies and also administrative regulation. First read and also for information.
Moving on to item number 19. Board members, is there any particular item, information item you would like for Dr. Curry to elaborate? If not, Dr. Curry, please extend.
I just want to just to go with the board items. So item number 19.07 is our Compton Community College District Legislative Report Cards. Those are now available for our elected officials, and we'll begin having a meeting with our elected officials in January. That information will be provided. Also included in the information section is updated information in regards to the bond budget and also our OPEB. But there's nothing else that's new that's for the information for you in regards to the information section.
All right. Moving on to item number 20, future agenda items.
So I have a couple that was brought up forward earlier, so we will follow back up on those items as well.
Thank you. Moving on to oral reports, President Dr. Curry.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you to the Board of Trustees for your support for the work that we're doing here at Compton College. I'm really excited about some of the work that we're doing, especially as it relates to student success and also basic needs. The staff has been working extremely hard the last couple years as it relates to the pandemic, but I'm really excited about the work we're doing in basic needs and our new partnership with the LA County Food Bank. They've been providing food services on our campus once a month. They're also going to be doing a special event for us on November 23rd for our students in the community. We're able to provide food for the community on that day. We're also working on a turkey giveaway for our students. They're also looking at November 23rd to do a turkey giveaway for our students. So I'm really excited about the work that we're doing in basic needs and how we're moving forward to support our students. Also, finally, I do want to say thank you and publicly to Sherry Berger for outstanding leadership as the Vice President of Academic Affairs here at Compton College. She was very knowledgeable in the work that she does here in Academic Affairs and provided great leadership and guidance for our organization as we move forward. And I'm very pleased that the Board of Trustees approved my recommendation to renew soon-to-be Dr. Sherry Berger's contract through 2024. I want to publicly say thank you to Sherry Berger for our work and her leadership within Academic Affairs. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Moving on to 21.02 Board of Trustees, Trustee Ramos.
I just wanted to say that I attended last month's virtual town hall that was hosted by Dr. LeBlanc, and I think she did a great job, and I enjoyed it, and that's all I had. Thank you.
Dr. LeBlanc, would you like any parting words?
He had to leave.
Oh, that's right. And I believe Trustee Calhoun too?
Mm-hmm.
So Dr. Little, you're up.
I just want to thank our administration, our faculty, our staff, and most importantly, our students as we continue to navigate through these unprecedented times and as we continue to seek to grow and work together. I think it's important that we recognize from whence we came on this night that we are very saddened by the leaving of Dr. LeBlanc, and thanking her again for all of her great service, and being very thankful that we are not in the same situation that we were in 12 years ago. And I think as we continue to work day in and day out on behalf of ensuring educational access and professional development and success for all of our students and community, that we continue to keep at the forefront that collective purpose. Thank you, President Lopez, for your continued leadership. And I would like to thank everyone in all of our districts who continue to support, and we look forward to partnering as we end this year and move into next.
Got it. Thank you very much. Dr. Curry asked for the floor again, so I'll give it back to him before I give my report.
Yeah, and I forgot to say this. We've been working with the classified union and the federation regards to their contract, and we have a tentative agreement. And I do want to make sure I say thank you to Mr. Arian Johnson for working with the CFT and the local classified bargaining unit. We were able to negotiate a completion of that contract. And I know I see Travis Martin on the call, and I think I see Felicia Hatton. But I do want to say thank you to all that was involved regards to that contract negotiations for classified. But a special thank you to Mr. Johnson for his leadership.
All right. And I just want to thank once again Dr. LeBlanc for her time on the board, and sorry that she had to leave early. And I do want to thank our presenters today. Very good job keeping us posted, and we look forward to the participation of the appointment for seat area number 4. And moving on to item number 22, the next regularly scheduled board meeting is for Tuesday, December 7th. Closed session will be at 4, open session will be at 5. And it is 7:50 and this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Dr. Curry, you still there? Let's see.